Constant craving has always been. Welcome to another action-packed episode coming to you live from my beach house. Don't be jealous. And I want to address my singing. My buddy said, dude, you know you're not a good singer, right? I said, yes. Isn't that obvious? But I guess there's two kinds of people, those who know or think they're good singers, or those who know they're not, but have the confidence to still sing. I never thought I'd be one of them, at least not without liquid confidence, but my sober confidence has enabled me, so you're welcome. And that song, Constant Cravings. You never know when they're going to hit, and ideally we're doing the work to help prevent them by doing hard things sober and replacing the artificial dopamine hits from alcohol with natural ones. But you might not be ready for that, or you might be slacking. And that voice is always looming. It senses weakness, particularly when you're alone and or have free time. The mortal enemies of sobriety. You know, fun fact, when we get a craving, the brain releases a small amount of dopamine that triggers us to crave more. And our lower brain is focused on both survival and maintaining routine. So it's actually going to trigger the voice, which is actually the neural pathways that we've built up all these years. It says alcohol is the answer to everything, but that doesn't work for us anymore. So when that voice rears up, it's basically a 1-second decision to tell it to F off, or it's going to make up our mind for us. And once that happens, we don't want to be talked out of it. And that's why we don't do what we should, which is call a friend, have them remind us that at best it works for 20 and 30 minutes and then just makes things worse and puts you in buzzed limbo for the next couple hours until you drink so much you're on autopilot, and then you're completely miserable for the next day and then some. Another great thing to do at that point would be to go for a walk or a run, but you're likely not going to be in the mood for that either. So what I'm suggesting is an alternative way to get a dopamine hit. It's a secret one you can get right in your bathroom. And I don't mean stashed under the sink or in the toilet tank, but in the shower. Showers actually change your nervous system for the better, particularly cold showers. I was lucky enough to have had a friend post an article about 10 years ago on Facebook about a study done, and the participants did 30, 60, and 90-second cold showers. The results didn't matter as long as you took as little as a 30-second cold shower. They all had significant reductions in sick time. What happens is your brain releases cortisol, which triggers your fight or flight response, which activates your immune system. I've been doing this for 10 years, very healthy. I went into my pizza shop 5 days a week during COVID, never got it. Am I saying it was because of that? No, but probably helped. So what I do, and what you need to do, is just summon that willpower to just get in the shower. That's all I'm asking. You know, my buddy said, people aren't going to do it. They might have already showered that day. They're already dressed. I don't care. Shower again. And just think of it as your ordinary, hot, warm shower. Enjoy it. Then what I do when I'm ready, you know, I've already got my Alexa cranking, which I highly recommend. I turn around so my head is so the water's coming over my head. I have Alexa play Springsteen's Working on the Highway, Volume 9. I let the water cascade over my head to the point it kind of blocks out my ears, creating that vacuum effect, which I really love. And I just breathe deep, really hyperventilate, especially for that first 10, 15 seconds of shock before I get used to it. And that's all it takes. And then it's all downhill from there. And then after that 30 seconds, I just step forward and I start dancing for the next 2 minutes. I do the shopping cart, I churn some butter, I ski some moguls, and then I turn back around facing the water and I let it hit my pits, hit my shoulders, because that'll actually make the water feel colder, which, believe it or not, you'll start to crave. When you go on vacation, you'll actually miss being able to get the cold water you can at home, and you're going to get a tremendous hit. They say that immersion in 57-degree water gives you a 250% dopamine kick. Now that might be from a full-on cold plunge. That's not what I'm espousing. And you know how you know who's a cold plunger? It's just like the CrossFitters. They'll tell you. But this will still give you a tremendous dopamine kick. Because what happens is, as your body adjusts to the cold, it releases the happy hormones of adrenaline and dopamine. When you get out, you'll never be as cold toweling off. and it's a tremendous mood enhancer. I once came home from I lost a golf match. I was considering giving a somber share on a sober Zoom call, but I wasn't in the mood. I went in and took a cold shower, and I came out and gave the happiest share of my life. Guess what about cold showers? And the people in the chat said they were going to take the Cappy Challenge, and the results have been great. And ideally, you're going to come out of there in such a better mood, you might want to make that call to the friend that you didn't want to call, when you had that craving. Or maybe you might even want to share in a call. You're going to be, either way, you're going to be in a much different place. And ideally, not have another craving the rest of the night. If you do, shower again. I know a woman, she said when she gets a craving, she takes a bath because it means she can't be driving to the liquor store. So shower all night if you have to. Well, it's a little crazy, but you get the point. This will work. It reminds me, they interviewed a couple in their 80s that have been married for 50 years, and they said, how do you maintain the intimacy? And they said, if one of us is ever not in the mood, the other has 15 minutes to get him in the mood. It doesn't work, we call it a night. But they said, we've never called it a night. So this will work. Now, I'll admit, it's still a challenge every single time. I think, I'm enjoying the warm water. I think, why am I doing this to myself? But I never regret it. And it basically counts as doing a hard thing sober. You'll feel better about yourself as well. And that's why you'll be able to sustain that dopamine kick for a lot longer than that 20, 30 minutes of taking a drink that's going to just make you miserable. And then guess what? You're going to be a lot stronger for it the next day. So ideally, get in the habit now. Try to do these in the morning, or whenever you normally shower. Baby steps, you won't regret it. That's it. Please like, share, subscribe, etc. And remember, stronger, sober. Thanks.